Hello and welcome to Mokpo. We are here in Korea for the very first stage of our IFSC Asia tour. Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be moving from here over into China, bringing you several lead and speed World Cups as we move around the Asia continent. We do hope you can stay with us throughout those 12 days approximately. But for now, we're here in Mokpo for that first stage, getting things ready with our lead qualifications. Later on this afternoon, our Speed World Cup in its entirety, all the way through to the finals as well. Mokpo, where we are at the moment, has a population of roughly 250,000 people. It was well known as a port town throughout the years 1910 to 1945, particularly during World War II, and is also home to the 8th President of the Republic of South Korea, Kim Dae-jung, who is also the recipient of the 2000 to 2001 Nobel Peace Prize. He's known as the Nelson Mandela of Asia. So, with a reputation of being a port town and also home to one of the most important politicians of the 20th century, Mokpo is renowned as being very open to foreign visitors, and that is definitely true here. We have 31 male athletes, 27 female athletes in the lead alone. That's not counting the speed athletes that'll be here later on this afternoon. Let's get things started with a quick look at our start lists. Well, here we are then with our start lists. You can see there's some big names already listing on the very first page here. This is the men's that we're looking at now. Obviously a larger contingent here of the Korean athletes as it is on their home turf. They're allowed that extra few. But still, despite the relatively small group that we have here of men and women, 31 men, 27 women. There's not many of them compared to a lot of the World Cups that we have over in Europe. Despite that, we still have a particularly high caliber of athletes here as well. There's Jakob and Domen there, you can see on this page. Sean's here as well. And our winner from last year, our gold medalist from last year, potential gold medalist this year, Min Hyun-bin. We've seen him consistently this year, putting in good performances, and he's going to be very hungry to try and reclaim that title, hold on to it yet another year on this home turf. Seen him walking around already this morning.
Recording.
Smiling and joking with some of the other competitors that we have here. So a full day's worth of coverage ready to come your way then as we move on to the women's lead qualification start list now as well. So have a little look at that one. Again, look, you see you've got this very high caliber turning up here. Elin Janiko, Mathilde Brumain, Katarina Sauwein. Also Anna Verhoeven there, who was in her first final just recently in Puurs. And while we're looking at that, just to give you a run through the day events then, we have the league qualifications for you now. They are climbing in 2 groups, so they are splitting them into qualification group 1 and group 2 for both men's and women's. They will all get a chance at the 2 routes that they are given here. But we're going to be sticking with route 2 for both of our genders, so men's route 2, women's route 2, throughout today's coverage. So you'll see every single athlete here today climb once for the qualifications, and we'll update you on the results when we come to the end of it. Then we're going to be taking a short break. Shouldn't take too long actually, but we will be taking that short break whilst the speed wall is set up, and then we get on to our Speed World Cup. The entire Speed World Cup is going to be broadcast today for you. So we start with our qualification rounds, moving on to our 16 finalists as we break it down into our So those are our start lists. Remember, you can find them all as well online on the IFSC's website. If you're not on that at the moment, that's ifsc-climbing.org. And we are now just about ready to take you over to our very first set of athletes who are about to get started over here. Our athletes moving out now into position. We're going to be covering the 2 middle ones. That's starting off with Seop Sung-go for Korea. For men's group 2, and next to him on women's group 2, another Korean athlete is Kim Hyo-young. So 2 Korean athletes start us off in the middle here then. In a few moments time we'll be chatting to our route setters. We have Vincent and Matthew, who was saying recently in Perm. They're here and have been setting for the past week, getting everything ready here. We had a lot of rain last night, so the speed wall at the moment is still dripping wet. We are hoping that as the sun is now definitely shining, it's starting to heat up a little bit. That should dry out that wall, but it is going to make it very humid here as we move through the day. Moisture is definitely going to be up. That could be a problem for some of the athletes that aren't used to climbing in the hotter climates, mainly our Europeans. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on over here. So Sungbo moving into the increased incline section now on the left-hand side. Into the next section of the wall now. Getting into this volume section as we move a little bit further up. These arrows that are on the peak of this incline, just before we hit the lip of the wall here. Clipping in a little bit before he moves over onto the right-hand side a little bit. Going to get that left hand up in a minute to secure it. Relatively simple procedure up to about here, and then from here he's going to get into this technical section on the wall. What about positioning as he moves through these next 4 volumes that you can see clustered just ahead of him here? Plenty of holds to choose from. It's going out to the right here. Switching to a knee bar on the left now to clip in. Heel hook looking fine so far. He's going to pop up with the right in a moment to that one on the peak of this middle volume. There it is. And he's now going to move into these plates, these purple plates that are on this next section as we're hitting the lip now. These athletes will have been watching in the warm-up space how these routes are supposed to be done. The route setters have provided the videos, and unfortunately coming down there just past the honeycomb. So Sungbo. Still with our female Korean athlete though on the other side, Kim Hyo-young. Kyo-young into the roof section now. Very similar setup to the men's actually, almost identical looking section of the wall. Very different in terms of sequencing, using pockets around those volumes onto the lip and then switching onto a couple of pinches before then going into mainly plates towards the top. Now the final upper section of the female wall here, which we just didn't quite get to a few moments ago with Kyo-young, that's the bit that's going to be really costing the main female athletes that we're looking to qualify with high positions here. Moving from those pinches onto the plates towards the top, it's going to get tricky for them. We move over to our Italian athlete next, though, Stefano Ghisolfi, starting off on men's qualification group 2. I think we're in for a relatively quick qualification round, to be honest, guys. 31 men split into 2 different groups. It means we're only going to see 31 climbs all in all today. 27 for the women's, as opposed to what would normally be 62. So we've got those 2 groups happening at the same time. And as I mentioned before, that short break before we're back with the speed qualifications and the speed finals for today. Into tomorrow then we have the semi-finals for the lead and the finals for the lead, so do stick around for that one as well.
The right side of the center wall, Magdalena Rowe from Austria.
Stefano Ghisolfi, born in Turin, began competing in international youth competitions in 2007. A very versatile athlete as well, climbs in all 3 disciplines. Stefano taking his first podium position in 2012, where he came 3rd at Xining in China at the Lead World Cup. Started climbing at 11 years old. We've seen him quite a lot this year, putting in some fantastic performances in the first stages of the Lead World Cups. At the Crags, he's reached the level of 9A, worked an 8B plus on site. And he's also climbed Boulder 8B+. Just to give you some perspective on his gradings when he's not at the competitions. And next to him on the right-hand side is the young lady that's causing all the stir so far this year and all the problems for the higher-ranked senior female athletes. It's Magdalena Rowe. Exceptionally talented young female athlete from Austria. Quite a performance at the World Youth Championships. Frequently making finals on the senior circuit as well, bearing in mind she is still only 19 years old. She's been a member of the national youth climbing team for Austria since 2008. She was the World Youth Champion in 2011, won the 2011 European Youth Series, and also took a bronze medal at the IFSC Climbing World Cup in Arco in 2011. Has had 18 podium positions between 2009 and 2011, and that's at the European Youth Cups and other comps. 12 of those 18 were gold medals. That's before we even get onto this year. That's between 2009 to 2011. Last year she really started hitting the lead season, and this year she's been dominating our female lead season, challenging Mina Markovic, keeping some pressure on Kim Jae-in as well. We would expect to see her top here. I'm hoping I'm not going to jinx her. She's moving into those pockets now, a little bit towards the lip. We're already seeing our first top of the day there as well with Stefano Ghisolfi. Very quick to move through the flat section towards the top of the wall. can see Magdalena, she is being cautious there through the last 3 or 4 moves. But with Stefano Gazolfi and Magdalena setting the bar high on our second climb of the day, the pressure is now on for the rest of our athletes as they come out into Group 2 to match that performance as we move towards the semi-finals tomorrow. 26 men, 26 women pushing for those semi-finals. Naoki Ishimatani here for Japan on the left-hand side.
The right side of the center wall, Yuka Kobayashi from
And we are about to be joined by his teammate on the right-hand side, just next to him, Yuka Kobayashi, just starting off her climb now as well. Another one that we would definitely expect to see through semi-finals, maybe even finals. She'll definitely be used to climbing in this climate. The heat and humidity that's going to be settling in today. The wall is shaded at this stage of the day, which is perfect for these guys. The route set had spent a long time this morning checking that the wall wasn't too wet for them to climb. The speed wall was drenched, unfortunately, so we're still hoping that that's going to dry out as we move through the day. But they did give the A-OK on the lead wall, and that's now, they are being said, is fine for them to climb, obviously, because we're starting on it now. So Yuka Kobayashi starting off on the right-hand side as well. Question in here then saying if a lot of athletes top, does speed cut it down to who makes the semi-finals? Yes, at this earlier stage, qualifying rounds, we can't go to count back because it's the very first stage of the competition. In the latter stages of the competition, the semi-finals, we would go to count back to these earlier rounds if there was a tie in the semi-finals. So say 2 athletes got tops during the semi-finals, it would go back to their score on the qualifications. If they're still tied there, then that's when we go to speed. But we do have 26 spaces for the men and for the women to make it through into that semi-final stage. And we only have 31 men and 27 women, so it would have to be a lot of tops indeed if we were to go to that for this stage.
from Korea.
So Yuka now on the 30th hole. That's the one with the right hand she's got there. She's going up to those 2 pinks, which are 32 and 33. There's 32 with the left, 33 here now as well. Of a total, all in all, of 53 on this route. So 3/5 of the way through so far. Going to get into this roof section in a few moments. And in a few moments, I'm going to be chatting to our chief route setter here, Vincent. And we'll talk about these middle two routes and what we're expecting to see. We'll also give you a bit of background information on the other two that we're not covering at this stage. They're either side of this one. We've got Elliot Janico on one at the moment. We'll be seeing those athletes later on climbing these two middle routes. So you will get to see everybody climb at least once today. Cho Sung-woon here as well now for Korea on the left-hand side. And as we are just about to get things started with our next couple of athletes, Yuka now pushing up to the very top part of the wall here. I'm joined by our chief route setter here in Mokpo, who we've just been speaking to recently as well in Perm. Now over into the Asia Tour and on to the next one as well, I think, Vincent, as well. You're going to be chief setting in China as well, you know?
Yeah, in China, exactly.
Which one in China have we got you route setting in?
Which one? It will be Kuzuke from Japan.
So do you get a little bit of time in between to relax?
He's a good guy. I ever worked with him. Yes, in 2008 in Australia.
Okay, so let's have a little bit of a chat about these routes here. You've been setting here since, is it Monday? You've been here for about a week?
Yes, 1 week to set. Yes, exactly. 1 week for route setting. It was very good route setting. And some days not really easy because a lot of rain. It's raining, but it was fun and fine. We are enjoying.
Now, the decision this morning as well to go ahead. We had a lot of rain yesterday. We do have the speed wall a little bit wet at the moment, but now the sun is out and everything. I know you guys got up and checked all the routes this morning. Did they seem okay at the top of the wall?
For speed wall, actually, it's not okay again. It's wet, but for the qualification for lead, it's okay. It's dry, it's perfect.
So talk to us a little bit about these middle two routes that we're looking at the moment. Then at present, we're looking at Cho Sung-woon on the men's route 2 here. What kind of a route are we looking at for this one?
On the men 2, yes. This is a long route. It's here it's difficult for the qualification because for the climber because it's very high wall and long route, so it's very difficult for them to climb it maybe in 6 minutes. So they need to climb very fast.
So this is more about making sure they're managing their time correctly for the 6 minutes that they've got. What kind of style are we looking at for this one? Does it change as it progresses? Are we seeing any technical side of things? More power, more sustained, endurance-based?
This is a progressive route. It's maybe the first part is very easy for climbing fast, for example, okay? And the last part is for sure a little bit harder. I think that's not easy qualification. It is hard qualification.
So the top section up here as well then, as we're getting past the roof, a little bit of an incline, and then we go onto the lip, and up here where the honeycomb is, the red, the sort of red-orange point there, and there's a couple of pinches. What kind of moves are we looking at here? Is this more power-based towards the top?
When they are here, they need to use a knee bar. This is a little rest.
With the left and this little section where he is now?
Yes, exactly there. And after this move, these hard moves to the tops. All moves are very hard to the tops.
Okay, and what kind of grading would you give this one if you were to give a rough estimate on this?
This one is around the 8B, hard 8B.
So possibly to an 8B plus? Or just a hard 8B?
Oh no, just hard 8B.
Just a hard 8B, okay. And then over onto the women's now, we've got Barbara Backer starting off for Austria on the women's middle route then as well. Are we looking at a similar thing, the same height?
Yes, exactly. We do the same. We have set our routes with a start very easy, beginning is very easy to climbing fast, and the last section is a little bit harder from the beginning, and they don't have a lot of rest. I think for women it's harder to climb very fast than the men. So it's not easy for women.
So are we taking them out of their style a little bit here when you say that what we've noticed is that a lot of the women's style tends to be they prefer the technical style of climbing? Are you forcing them to go fast on this one, and hopefully taking them out of their comfort zone?
This is not a very complicated style. It's not very technical. They have a very big roof, this very long roof, so it's not complicated for climbing. It's very basic move, but just the last part, they need to be a little bit be careful, because just maybe the two last move are a little bit complicated, because it's maybe very small crimp and slopers, and I know to use the slopers for women, they don't like this.
We saw that from Magdalena Roach a few moments ago. She really slowed down on the last 3 or 4 moves and became a bit cautious there. So this, for the women's then, is all about, just like it is for the men's, pushing forward, staying quite fast, trying to get to the top within the 6 minutes time limit. Again, like the men's, very progressive route, so it starts quite easily and then becomes very difficult towards the end, and just being cautious on the flat section at the top, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
And in terms of grading for this one, if you were to give an estimate on the grade?
This one, it's 8A, just 8A.
Okay, so just to have a brief chat about the other two that we're not covering at the moment, but just to fill everybody in and what we are looking at the other ones. We've got Sachiyama just starting on one of the other, to the right-hand side now, men's route 1, I believe. What's this is it very different to the one that we are showing? What kind of style is this one?
Yes, this one is very different, because the right side and the left side is not the same wall for sure. It's not a very big overhang. We don't have a long roof like on the main, and the style is very different. We have not something very progressive, maybe something the same difficult each time to the top, just maybe the last move a little bit harder, and it's very difficult to set on the right side, for example, because we have on middle part we have a vertical part, so it's very, for us it's very maybe dangerous to set something too technical or too easy, because you can hit too easy. For example, you can have big rest. If it's too technical, it's dangerous to have something like a crux, but I think this one is okay.
Is that a section with the volumes in the middle? Because there are quite a lot of volumes in this route as well, so you've tried to go kind of a little bit technical, but enough that they can take their time and not too risky on it.
Yes, exactly.
And then for the women's, the second one on the women's as well, the reason that we're covering these two middle ones, just to fill you in at home if you are listening, is I had a chat to Vincent and to Matthew yesterday, and you both said that the middle two are the harder two. These are the ones that are going to be the really interesting ones to watch. What about the women's on this side then? Is this similar to men's one?
It's not similar, but it's maybe a little bit easier than the second route for women. It's a technical style, but not too hard. So I think this one will be maybe a little bit easier than the other one. And I think we have more tops in this route than the second route.
And then if you were to give a rough grading for the two that we're not covering, just so that they can get a perspective on what the athletes have climbed before they've started these ones. For men's route 1, the one that Sachi's on at the moment, what grading would you give that one?
It's around 8A+.
And then for the women's one?
For women's on left side, it's maybe 7C+, 8A.
Brilliant. Vincent, thank you very much for chatting to us. I'm going to let you get back and focused on what you were doing earlier. I know I pulled you away from doing some paperwork. But we'll have a chat as we go into the semi-finals tomorrow as well. Yeah. And the finals. We've got some exciting things to look forward to. You excited about the finals?
Yep.
And what is it like knowing that you're going from being chief here in Korea to then you're going to be chief again later on in China? Is that very difficult in such a short amount of time to come up with a lot of routes in advance? Is it kind of quite a stressful thing to make sure you're adding variety and a different challenge to these athletes? Because they'll probably be the same athletes because they stay out, and you have to up the bar and change things for them. Is it very difficult in a short amount of time to be thinking about those kind of routes?
Yes, when it's like that, I need to be big careful because if we don't choose correctly the route setters here, for example, and if I climb too much, maybe I will be too tired for the next week. So here it was okay because I have a lot of route setters and I have a good team, so it was not necessary for me to climb a lot, just enough for have a good route setting, and I think I will be okay for the next week. For sure it's not the same if it was just one, and I think it will be okay for me. It's a good challenge, yes, for sure, but actually I'm okay.
In terms of planning the routes in advance and thinking about them before you're there, are you, as a person, would you rather arrive and then discuss what you're going to do with the routes, or are you somebody that spends weeks beforehand thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that? What kind of a person are you in that aspect?
Sometimes, so some weeks before the event, for sure I have some pictures of the wall, okay, but I don't use this picture to say exactly where I put holes, where I put this semi-finals, semi-final goes there or there. No, I do that when I'm coming in the place and just one day before the start of the route setting, because I need to check, for example, holes, volumes, and if I don't know that before, it's not possible for me to choose where can I put the semi-finals, the finals. So I need to decide that before, just one day before the route setting on a place, and with the other route setter for sure.
So these routes that we're looking at now, the qualifications, the semis and the finals, have all been thought up a day before you started setting, and then you've had maybe 4 or 5 days to put them up, work them and make sure that they're correct. So a week tops from conception, from you thinking about it to then them being on the wall now, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Each time we have different options to change some holes if it's necessary, for sure. But it's very hard to show in the features what happened after. Then we update each time.
In terms of what you've seen so far on the IFSC, the lead season this year, have there been any highlights for you as a route setter in terms of watching what other route setters are doing that you've liked? Say, for example, PERS or IMST or the other lead events that we've had so far this year. Have there been any particular finals that you remember and you've liked and thought, oh, I like that idea, I might use that for myself?
Okay, I watched before. Yes, for sure I watched PERS. I don't remember the other one. It was PERS. Only PERS? No, maybe. It was just PERS.
The setter?
Yes.
It's,
Christian made it.
It was Christian, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this. I remember PERS. It's a very, very long route and very high wall. For sure I watch this because I need to know exactly the level of the climbers actually, and it's very interesting for me to watch this before I know how they're feeling, they have a good feeling or not actually, so it's very interesting for me to watch this before.
What did you think of the dyno in the finals and the final route there? Did you like it? I mean, it's a risky move, but I think that the guys watching back at home, and definitely from our perspective, from watching it ourselves, I thought it was incredibly exciting to see that at that stage. Is it something you like, something you think we might be seeing in one of your routes, or are you going to be a bit safe?
No, I like this. I like to take some risk sometimes, for sure. I like this. I think for Christian it would be very dangerous because maybe it was last year. I don't know if you remember, for the World Championship. It was in Arco. He do the same. He used a dyno for a woman, and 7 women fall at the same moves. So sometimes it's very, very dangerous to do that. Here in Perth, he does that for men. It's better, I think, for men for sure. It's more safe. And just four guys fall at the dyno, and the other one passed this one. I think it was fun dyno. It was at the middle of the route, and for me it was fun. It was not a very hard dyno, so it was good for the show. I think like this it's okay. It's a little bit safe. Sometimes you need to be safe for sure, but sometimes you need to be tricky.
One of the things I liked about the dyno that we saw in Perth was that there was also a static option. There was a way of doing it. If you were a little bit taller, there was that option of, like we saw with Jakob, going for the more static approach, whereas we saw Sean doing the dyno and with one hand taking and holding that dyno. There was that option of doing a more static approach. Now that's more of a bouldering thing, is it not? The idea that you have different beaters that are to play with there. Is it something that you play with yourself on lead routes, on trad routes? Is it something you think we can see, or we will be seeing more of, the idea that there's more than one way to do it?
Yes, for sure. If you want to have something tricky, something fun, you need to use some different moves. They use in bouldering for sure. It's easy to play with this in bouldering. On lead, sometimes very hard. Sometimes not possible because you don't have the good wall for this or the good holds for this. And if you can do that, I think it's very interesting to do it. And just for example, one dyno for sure is different if you're tall or short. So it's very difficult to have a good calibration when you set this move. For example, just in the main qualification number 2, we put just one knee bar. A knee bar is very difficult because sometimes if you're tall or not, it's not the same knee bar, so you don't have the same rest. So we need to do something to make something very, how to say, that's the same if you're short or tall.
Fair.
Yes, fair, exactly.
Well, Vincent, I'm looking forward to it. We've got the semis and the finals still yet to come, guys. That'll be tomorrow. We also have the speed later on today. Vincent, thank you very much for talking to us. We'll chat in the semis, yeah?
Yeah, see you later. Thanks.
Thank you, Vincent. And just as we come to the end of that with Vincent, we see another top here from Domen. Schkofitz, good start here for him, the young athlete. Nicky van Bergen. For the Netherlands on women's routes 2 now as well. If you want to get in touch with us, if you'd like to hear from Vincent again, if you have any questions for the route setting team, if you'd like to speak to a particular athlete here today, one of the benefits of this being a live webcast is that you can get involved with us here at the venue and you can ask if you want to hear from anyone or if you have any questions. You can do so by getting in touch with us on Twitter using the hashtag IFSCWC. You all know it by now. Easy to do. Let us know if there is anyone in particular you'd like to speak to. As you can see there in the bottom right hand corner, our producer Johnny has very kindly set up a link there for you as well, so you can see there the hashtag. That's what you have to type in on Twitter, and that's to get in touch with us here at the venue. So as you can probably see, we are taking a local feed as well from a TV company here. We will show you every now and then little clips of the other walls as much as we can. As I've said, we are focusing on the middle two routes here, which is the qualification group 2 for men's and for women's in the middle of our wall. But every now and then, as there is the local TV company here, we'll be showing you little clips of the other walls as well. You just saw a brief glimpse of Anak there, Verhoeven. We'll be seeing all of those athletes that are climbing on the other two walls later on our walls in the middle as well. So you will see everybody today. And as we go through into the semi-finals and the finals tomorrow, we'll be taking a lot more coverage from these guys. They've got about 20 cameras around here at the venue, so the coverage should be fantastic as we go through to the semi-finals and the finals. They've even got a hover cam. How high-tech is that? They've got a camera fixed up onto a helicopter, a little mini helicopter with rotors that flies up to the top of the wall. So we should hopefully see some really nice little close-up shots a little bit later on in the competition through the semis and the finals as well. So we look forward to that tomorrow. For today, though, staying with Kim Myung-soo and Jung Woon-hwa, two athletes from Korea. A lot of tops already on the men's route 2 here, as we've seen at nearly every competition throughout this year. The high-ranked athletes come out and definitely set the bar high for the other younger or less experienced athletes when it comes to the World Cups, to try and match them, to try and earn their places in the semi-finals. And that's exactly what these two athletes from Korea are about to start pushing for now. And you can see there Kim just pushing up onto that next section of the wall. That's almost exactly where we saw our first athlete come down. Just 2 moves after that, the honeycomb. Kim Myung-soo now down on the ground again. Still with Jung Woon-hwa. She's about to hit the middle section of her wall as well. We'll be getting ready to welcome our next male athlete out in a few seconds. And I'm going to be chatting to some of the athletes in a few seconds as well. Got Domen coming over for a bit of a catch-up in a minute. He's going to tell us how the conditions are today. So stick with us. And up next on the men's route, as we get into our day now, Sean McCall about to come out and start men's route 2. While that is happening, now that he's got himself a little bit of a rest and he's got a bottle of water in hand and he's a bit relaxed, Domen Skofitz is joining us here in the booth. Domen, how are you?
I'm great, yeah.
So that was a pretty successful first climb for you then, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty easy route. Only the last 4 moves are like a bit tricky, but not so hard. Maybe the top hold was a surprise because it's like a jog, but it's a sloper on the end, so you have to get it far behind.
So it looks better than it actually is when you get to the top.
Yeah, it is.
So what about the conditions here today? We had a lot of rain here yesterday. Now it's sort of heating up. We've got the sun here, and it is a bit moist everywhere. It is a little bit humid, but is it bad? Is it okay up there? Are the holds slippy? How are they at the moment?
I felt it pretty good. I thought it will be a lot more humid because in there in the ISO it was like really hot, and yeah, all the holds were slippery. But outside here it's pretty cool. So for me it was okay.
So at the moment we're looking okay then, because we had that whole thing this morning. We weren't sure whether we were going to be ready to start at time because of the rain from yesterday, but at the moment the whole route's looking fine, feeling fine for you.
Yeah, I'm on my fingers feeling it was perfect, so yeah, I think it shouldn't be a problem.
Now we've seen quite a few tops already on this route for the men's today, and you've got another one yet to climb right over on men's route 1. We've seen Sachi go up that route already. What are you thinking of the second route, which is actually men's group 1, but your second climb? What are you thinking of this one? From looking at it from the ground, is it looking like an easier, like a more difficult route?
I think it's the same difficulty. I don't know, maybe it's moves are like look a little bit trickier, or I don't know, because this route, our first one was just like, you know, letter moves. It was like no crosses, no matches, nothing, just straight up. Maybe this one looks a little bit different, but I think the difficulty is the same.
So a little bit more technical on this one. This one's pretty much just progressive, but very simple beta, the one that you've just finished climbing. This one's a little bit more technical towards the middle section as well. In terms of your style and what you're most comfortable with, do you prefer the more powerful moves? Do you prefer the technical side of things, the more dynamic things? What would you say is your perfect route?
I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself as a powerful guy, but I don't know. I like all the moves. As I said, I'm like the worst thing for me is if I get on really small crims. But otherwise, I like everything. I mostly like if the route has a lot of heel hooks, you know. I prefer that. But otherwise, I love all the styles, so I don't care.
Is that because it gives you more opportunity to rest, or because you just feel more confident yourself if you feel like you've got an extra limb just securing you? What is it about the heel hooks that you like?
Yeah, I don't know. I always like to do heel hooks. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I feel safe, but sometimes it also costs me, like in firm.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that one as well. Like, almost straight away, there's a load of guys from Slovenia just going, "Oh no, that was just a mistake, a mistake." When I spoke to you as well, you were saying to yourself at the bottom of the wall, "Idiot, why did I do it there?" and this, that, and the other. What was it for you that cost you at Perm?
Yeah, I don't know. I always put heel hooks everywhere. I don't know. I just feel safe about it, and I don't sleep as often, you know. So I felt pretty comfortable. It was a really small foothold for a heel hook, but still I felt pretty okay because I mostly had all the weight on the left side. You know, it was just because of rotation I put that. And when I was choking up, my hand was in choke back, and in the exact moment it happened. So I couldn't do nothing. My hand was in there, so maybe if I wouldn't have my hand in the choke back, I could probably catch myself on. But it was too late. So
just 3 or 4 things happening at the same time. The slip at the same time, you had one hand off the wall, and that cost you. But we were talking about this as well, and we were sort of like arguing between the two of us on Facebook as to whether you have or have not made every single final this year, and you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. It's strange because on the last 2 in Purs and Perm, there were 9 finalists because in Purs I was divided. I was tied with Manu on 8th place, and now 9 of us stopped in Perm. So yeah, basically I was in all the finals, but screw the last 2. So hopefully it will get better.
But still, for someone that's still competing at the World Youth Championship level, we saw you this year in Canada as well. You've had a very, very strong start to this year. It's been by far your peak already, I think, and you're still looking like you're going to carry on. We saw you last year. I mean, Atlanta, you looked very good there. You made the first big final impact for you, and then this year, making every single final in the IFSC, you're becoming this frequent presence that we're seeing at the final levels. For you, getting to that stage, has it been a hard change from the youth comps into now the seniors? Was it difficult for you to get to that stage, or have you found it quite natural for you to just eventually end up doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, for this year I'm really happy that my main goal was to be in every final, not in every, but in as many as possible, that it becomes like a natural thing. But yeah, so for that I'm really happy. Yeah, for moving on to World Cup is I don't know, it is a bit hard because you have to mentally accept it, you know. I don't know. Also for the youth comps I had problems at the start. I didn't win the first comp when I count. The first year I was like, I don't know, around 10th place or 15th. So I always needed some time to get in. But yeah, the next year I was already winning. So I don't know. I think it's the same for the World Cup. I need to like accept it in the mind that I'm able to compete with the best. So that's really good for me. I don't know. That's why I like to compete in World Cups, because it's something that I haven't achieved yet, and it's like, you know, it's a really good challenge for me. I don't know. It's great.
So in terms of what you're doing when you're back at home, in between all these World Cups, when you're not off traveling the world and competing with these guys, what's happening back at home? I mean, are you still at school or a college or a uni? Are you still studying?
I just finished high school, so now I'm on university. On the 1st of October it started, but I went just the first day, just to look how it's going and what I have to do. And then I didn't go because I had to go to training. And yeah, when I come back, I will go for a few days to
And then leave again.
yeah, I'll pack my books and I don't know, I will learn on the way or something.
You're basically playing hooky. You're skiving off. Do you phone up and pull like a sickie or something? Do you phone up and say, I can't come in, I'm not feeling very well, and then just go off for a while? Or do you have a relationship with the uni that they understand that you're going to be going off to these World Cups?
Yeah, in high school I had it this way, but I still have to arrange it in the uni. So
They don't actually know that you're here.
one teacher knows. One teacher knows. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I also, with the A status, you have the chance to do every year twice. So I have a lot of time, and yeah, so. But I like that because I have a lot of time for training and a lot of time for school. Then it's and my family supports me, and this. For me, it's a dream come true.
So what are you studying? What's the actual course?
I don't know how to say in English. It's kinesiology. I don't know. It's
Like sports science?
yeah. It's like physiotherapy, sports physiotherapy, and also like science of sports and yeah.
Like kinesia is how you move, right? Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So how long is it? A long course, and then after that, what are you planning? You'll be a sports physiotherapist / psychologist, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's kind of perfect for you going around the world and doing this.
Yeah, that's why I picked that study. Originally if I wouldn't be a climber and I wouldn't travel so much, I would be physics. I would study physics. But yeah, it's just it's a really intense study program, so I wouldn't be a climber anymore if I would go that way.
I suppose it's more natural for you to do something that you're very familiar with, like the physiotherapy, the kind of sports science side of things, because you're doing this on a frequent basis. You know, you're kind of almost already qualified.
Yeah, for sure. I want to have a study that compares with the climbing, because the climbing is the first thing in my life, you know. So I have a feeling like I'm gonna stay if I don't get injured in this sport forever, and so I basically picked the study for it. So it's possible to to do yeah, I don't know to
Combine the two.
combine the two. Yeah.
Fine, I'll answer that question. I'll do it. What I was going to say, the last thing I wanted to ask you about is for anyone that's back at home that's getting involved in climbing for the first time, that's just starting and they're a similar age to you, is there any advice you'd give to some of the young youth athletes if they want to start doing this sort of thing? What's the best piece of advice you could give them?
The best advice is just enjoy climbing as much as possible. I think this is the main thing. If you don't enjoy climbing, it doesn't matter how much you train, you won't get the level, you know. If you like climbing, then you get the motivation to train by yourself. You don't need anybody to push you on. I basically train alone, so I enjoy climbing, and I climb whenever I like. So I think this is the most important thing.
That helps, I suppose, with the mentality of things as well. You're not stressing so much about getting it right all the time because you relax more into it, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Darman, I wish you all the best. I know you've got to go and get started. You've got another one to climb yet today, so thank you for chatting to us. We'll chat through semis and finals, yeah?
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Darman.
This is the first day of 2013 IFSC Mokpo Sports Climbing World Cup. We have lead qualification, speed qualification, semi-final, and final. Tomorrow we have lead semi-final and final. 시작하였습니다. The rival, Marco Antonio from Spain.
Well, welcome if you are just tuning in. We're here in Mokpo in Korea for the first stage of our Asia tour. 12 days, 3 different locations throughout Asia, and a plethora of different lead and speed World Cups to bring you as well as we move around over these next 12 days. Urban Primozic just coming down there as well now. Getting ready for our next male and female athlete.
네, 이번 난이도 여자 예선 경기에서는 총 27명의 선수들이 참여했습니다. 그리고 남자 선수들은 약
So Song Hanore and Min Hyunbin on the wall now.
지금 여러분이 보고 계시는 벽은
Hyunbin on the left-hand side here, our last year winner. He's the poster boy for this World Cup.
그래서 총 22m에 해당되는
His face is currently plastered all over Mokpo. Wherever you go, there are posters and signs. Letting everyone know where we are. Sure to see a packed crowd as we move through the rest of the competition here as well. We've got the opening ceremony later on today, and then the public will come flooding in. (24 years old Hyunbin from Seoul, world ranked number 4, World Cup ranked number 4 so far this year. The bronze medal in Perm, 8th place at Purs, 4th at Imst. So far this year, frequent finalist and also taking his first medal of this year so far. He's going to be fighting for that gold medal yet again this year on his home turf. If you want to watch Hyunbin's performance last year, it is up on our YouTube page as well. You can go to the IFSC's YouTube channel and you can watch anything you might have missed on there. So just to give you those grades again, talking to the chief route setters here then, for the men's we have this high, very long, progressive route, so it starts very easy, becomes more difficult as you move through. As Donman was saying, it's really only the last 4 moves that really put the pressure on you. They have 6 minutes to try and complete this, and it's an 8B for this one. For the women's, pretty similar to the men's actually, a nice easy start. The last section's the tough bit. Not many rests for the women's here. There is the knee bar that Hyunbin has just moved past now, but there is a good rest on the men's route there. Relatively simple style for the women's. Have to be very careful at the top in the last 3 to 4 moves, which we've seen from our athletes already today, and it's around an 8A. So an 8B for the men's and an 8A for the women's. The other 2 routes that we are seeing clips of every now and then, but we're not covering those. We're looking at an 8A for the, an 8A plus for the men's and a 7B plus for the women's on the other route that we're looking at, the qualifications here. Min Hyunbin now back down on the ground. After a successful climb there then. So these are the 2 routes as well, a little bit easier. We're following the more difficult routes, the tougher gradings. Roughly just over a third of the way through now as we move through our qualifications here today. Andrea Brigitte Skelly here now. Just a brief glimpse of her over on one of those other routes that we're looking at today, as we now take you back over onto our main walls that we're covering today. And our next athlete, Akio Noguchi, now up for Japan. So Akio, predominantly a boulderer, but also been competing in quite a bit of the lead so far this year, making finals in that one as well. Very talented climber in both disciplines. We've got Gauthier Super now just starting off for France as well, just next to her on the left-hand side. Gauthier, 6th overall in the World Cup rankings in 2010. Came 4th at both Cran and Purs in 2010. Comes from Colmar in France. Lives in Chambéry. And he's a fan of the dynamic style of climbing, the more dynamic moves. Not so much to challenge him on this one then, the start of his competition climb here. But as we were talking to Vincent earlier, we might see some surprises as we move over to China. Maybe some more dynamic style climbing. Maybe even here as we go through to the semis and the finals. Who knows what the route setters have in store for us as we move through the rest of this comp. Kia will be quite used to those more dynamic moves as well. This roof section she's going to get into with the pockets should be a breeze for her.
The rival, Lee Chang-hyun from Korea.
Very confident finish there from Akio Noguchi, up with one hand. Both Gauthier and Akio not really challenged by those routes. It's fine, this is the qualifications. We expect to see these higher ranked athletes performing very well at this stage.
지금 이 경기장에 IFSC 회장 마르코 마리아 스콜라리스 회장님 와 계십니다. 여러분 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다. 예, 마르코 마리아 스콜라리스, the president of IFSC, give a big hand, please.
Coming down there, unfortunately. Back over here at the moment to Lin Chang-yung for Korea, number 49, as he falls, unfortunately, as well. But we're about to get started over on our middle routes with some nice surprises, as far as I'm concerned at this stage. We've had Sandeep Meiti on the bouldering circuit so far this year, coming to quite a few of them, but it's great to see some athletes from India coming along onto the lead season as well. We have the first of those here at the moment, Gaurav Kumar for India, number 14, starting off on the men's Group 2 wall now. We're about to bring out our next female athlete as well, and that is Katharina Posch for Austria. Be on the right hand side of him now, about to start also. So Gaurav Kumar and Katharina Posch are two new athletes out now on the wall.
The rival, Kim Young-hwa from Korea. 네, 왼쪽에서 경기 시작한 선수, 여러분 많이 기대하고 계신 선수일 것 같습니다. 이번 페이퍼, 한국의 김차인 선수입니다. The red ball, Kim Chain from Korea.
수업 많은데 그냥 네, 이거 끝나고 돌아가면
경기 진행하고 있는 김다희 선수. 지난해 미국 세계 연례 월드컵에서 1등을 차지한 바 있습니다. 이 멋진 모습 보여주길 기대해보겠습니다. 우승이 한국 7일 경기
저는 바로 제가 6년째라 그냥 또 5학년 넘었어요. 쭉 다니고 있어요. 아니요, 저 3년. 4년. 내년까지 다니거든요. 이번에 신입생들이
진격 좌측에서 경기 진행하는 선수입니다. 일본의 가이스케 카사하라. Left side of the center hall, 가이스케 카사하라 from Japan.
올라가면은 학년마다 다른데 한 평균적으로 한 학기에 한 2명 정도는 다 하는 것 같아요.
Katharina Posch from Imst. One of our younger athletes, yet again another one that's frequently competing on World Youth Series and Cups, and also at the World Youth Championships. She was over in Canada this year as well. It's been a big thing for us this year, the sudden surge of youth athletes after Momoka Oda sort of led the way into this sudden burst. We're seeing these fantastic new youth athletes that are really challenging our seniors as well.
또 최근에는 한국의 클라이밍을 전체적으로 알릴 수 있도록 빈더링이라는 것을 영국에서 펼쳤는데요. 높은 높이의 무대를 가져오기 위해서 빈더링을 함으로써 많은 사람에게 이목을 끌어서 그래서 스포츠 클라이밍을 전 세계의 사람들과 동시에 많은 사람들에게 알릴 수 있는 기회를 마련했습니다.
Daisuke Kasahara for Japan on the left-hand side. Katharina there. Bit of a surprise to see her coming down before the top of this one, based on what we've seen so far from some of the other female athletes. That was an early fall there for her.
네, 김정희 선수에게 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Kim Jae-in just topped her first route of the day. That's exactly what we'd expect. Round of applause from the guys down on the ground here. Still with Daisuke.
현재 우측 벽에 총 31명의 선수 중 16명의 선수가 경기를 마쳤습니다. 잠시 묻은 선수 시간을 가진 후에 경기를 재개하도록 하겠습니다. We have route 3 time for right wall.
잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 물건을 샀습니다. 분홍색 사진이 달린 열쇠 꾸러미 8개 정도의 열쇠 꾸러미가 지금 도착했습니다. 센터 사무실 키인데요. 습득하실 분들은 이쪽으로 와주시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
중앙벽 우측에서 경기 진행하고 있는 선수입니다. 이번은 112번 한국의 최한빈 선수. The right side of the center wall, 최한빈 from Korea. 왼쪽 경기장에서는 일본의 모모카 오다 선수 경기 진행하고 있습니다. The left wall, 모모카 오다 from Japan. 모모카와 선수 이번에 열린 러시아 펄렛에 열린 대회에서 여자 단위로 3위, 그리고 벨기에 플루스에서 열린 월드컵에서는 여자 단위로 3위, 오스트리아의 20대에서 열린 경기에서 나라 2위를 기록한 바 있는 뛰어난 선수입니다. 여기서 경기 마친 이번 23번 벨기에 카사 아쉬워하는 사람인데요. 여러분 큰 박수로 격려해 주시기 바랍니다. 총 4개의 경기 결승, 현재 3개의 결정거 경기 진행되고 있고요. 가장 오른쪽벽에서는 잠시 루틴 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 중앙벽 왼쪽에서 경기 시작하는 선수입니다. 그리고 9번 프랑스의 마뉴엘 로망 선수입니다. The left side of Central, Manuel Roman from France. 이제 가장 왼쪽 경기장에서 경기를 위한 선수 7명의 선수 중 13명의 선수가 경기 진행하고요. 중앙벽 왼쪽에서는 총 33명의 선수 중 15번의 선수가 경기 진행하고 있습니다.
Manuel Roman now on the left hand side. Second at the IFSC Climbing World Cup in Briançon 2011, fourth at the World Cup in Mokpo in 2012. As at the start of this year, has never had a gold medal despite frequent podiums on the IFSC. Had a nice conversation with him in Perm just recently about what he's been up to. Had that injury in 2012 with his stomach muscles. Some of them tore. Had to take a lot of time out of the season in 2012, but he's back again this year. He's been climbing very well. Choi Han-bin just coming down on the female route to the right hand side now, but we are with Manu still as he pushes towards the volume section in the middle of the wall. Manu up with the right, now moving into this volume section. He's going to try and get that knee bar in here with the left. It's what's intended. He should spot it. A moment to take a rest. Turning out with the right hand here, and he's actually stretching out on the edge here instead at the moment. Is he going to go for a knee bar at all, or is he going to push past this, do you think? Oh, yep, there's the knee.
좌측벽 그리고 중앙벽의 우측에서도 13명씩의 선수들이 경기를 마치고 루틴 청소 시간을 가지도록 하겠습니다.
Crossing there with the left. Just approaching the lip here now. We have seen some falls around this point. Let's go up again with the right for the honeycomb. Just taking a short break on the women's route at the moment, so you're not missing anything there. The route setters are just cleaning that as we're halfway through. 49 moves all in all on this men's route that Mano's on at the moment, and that is the 49th hold. Quick clip in here on the last quick draw. Nice and easy, making it look very easy as well. I had a brief chat to Sean a moment ago as well. Sean Mokpo was saying really easy on that first route for him, not a problem at all on his first climb, which is the one that Mano's just finished. He's got that other climb to come later on, then he's going to come and have a chat to us. As is Anna Verhoeven, after she's had her second climb as well. So a couple of chats to some people a little bit later on today as we get into the second stage. There you can see the venue. This is what we're looking at the moment. This fantastic setup here. So triple wall we've got on the right hand side for our lead. And you can see there as well our speed wall, which is hopefully drying out around about now so that we can get on with our speed World Cup in its entirety later on today. So both routes are now being cleaned. We are halfway through our qualification stage so far today. Route setting team just going through, making sure that the conditions are still equal throughout. They're cleaning the entire wall at the moment, including the other two that we're not covering so much today. Halfway through, plenty of tops so far as well.
Now you are with the IFSC Climbing World Cup of Korea 2013. In May of last year, we were able to get this competition were certified by the IFSC. Furthermore, it has quickly become a beloved and appreciated place by so many climbers in Korea.
IFSC 프로파일러과 작년 그리고 예선 경기가 진행되고 있습니다. 현재 각 우승자로 4개 단계로 기록된 선수의 안정된 경기를 마쳤고요. 이번에는 선수단을 가지고 있습니다. 그 선수가 순서대로 같이 경기를 대기하도록 하겠습니다. 남자, 그다음에 여성 경기, 그리고 여자 선수들이 경기를 계속해서 진행합니다.
officials, the lunch will be able to by 2:30 p.m. at the hotel. And the bus leaves at 1:30 from this area, and the lunch goes by till 2:30. Thank you.
Park Hee-young, number 50 here on the side wall, just before we get started on our walls again. With the middle two routes. This is men's route 1 you're having a little bit of a look at now as Park makes his climb here. And this is women's route 1 you're looking at now, with Kim Ho-young. So these two routes are a little bit different to the ones that we're covering today. Women's route 1, technical style but not too hard. They're expecting to see more tops on women's route 1. It's around a 7B plus. Over on men's route 1, which we're looking at here as well now with Park on it. This is a sustained route. The last move is a little bit harder. The middle and the vertical section that he's just moving on to now is a more technical side of it, and it's an 8A plus in terms of difficulty. Now our two are the harder two routes. We're looking at an 8B for the men. It's progressive, steadily getting harder route. It's it's an 8B, and for the women's on women's route 2, pretty similar theme, progressive route getting harder towards the end. It's an 8A on women's route 2. So
on the right-hand side,
for men's 1 is an 8A plus, for men's 2 is an 8B. For women's 1 it's a 7B plus, and for women's 2 it's an 8A. And we're covering men and women's 2 for you today. Here, moving over the first lip on the first women's route onto another bit of a vertical section here. Some slopers to deal with onto some plates and crimps as we're moving towards the next overhang. This could be a tricky transition for her here. Matching there, going up again with the right. Okay, we are back on our 2 routes here now.
The right side of the center wall, Lee Hyun-soo from Korea.
Lee Hong-soo from Korea on the right-hand side, number 111. She's just starting off there. On the left-hand side, Tomoe Narasaki for Japan. Tomoe, only 17 years old. Utonomiya. We've seen him already this year at IMCH, where he came 33rd. Had the lead World Cup there. Came 31st at Inzai last year in Japan, 2012. Results from the Asia Youth Championships and the World Youth Championships in Singapore, 2012. Last year, in the men's Youth A lead category, he came 4th. And he came 2nd on the male Youth B Lead Asian Youth Championships in Singapore in 2011. He's on the left-hand side of your wall now. Tomoe Narasaki. Tomoe in the middle section here. He's got a knee bar option there. He's moved past quite fast here, wanting to get onto the next section. Relatively confident at this stage as well. He's not looking too bad either. Oh, and unfortunately just coming down there, the penultimate move as well. On the 48th hold there, Tomoe Narasaki up with the left hand, feet came off and it just brought him down from the wall, unfortunately. So we're still with Lee Hyun-suk for Korea.
거의 잘 모르거든요. 친구들이랑 나타나는 많은 사람들이 없는데 근데 경상도나 서울 경기
Mario Lechner now out on the left-hand side for Austria. He's already climbed once today. He's one of the first ones to come out on the men's Route 1. And that was a little bit of an easier route there for all of the male athletes. Let's see how he gets on this more sustained route. Hasn't been causing too many problems during the qualifications for most of our athletes, actually. "22 years old, Mario. He's world ranked 12th at the moment. Best result so far that we've seen from Mario on the senior side of things is back at the Rockmaster in Arco 2012, where he came third in the speed. We've also seen him take 4th place last year at Inzai, 7th at Zinning. So made finals at the Asia Tour last year. Coming back with a little bit of confidence then this year. Gold medals on the Male Juniors Lead European Youth Series though in Kran 2010, there's a gold medal there. Also at Veliko Tarnovo in 2010. Also at Imst in 2010 and Edinburgh 2009. Switching his feet there. Now, this is possibly what one of our route setters was talking about a little bit earlier. The height difference can play a part in how you rest at certain points, particularly at this knee bar stage here. When we were talking to Vincent earlier, so Mario just didn't look comfortable there at all, getting his knee in for that knee bar to take the rest there. He's relying on his hands a little bit more, stretching out at the bottom of that blue volume before now moving up onto these purple holds here. Up to the honeycomb now with the right hand. These routes have all just been cleaned, so the conditions should be pretty good for these guys again now. It's definitely dried out as well. It's not as humid as it was earlier this morning, after the rain with the mist this morning. A lot less humid now this afternoon. There's a good breeze going. I've been told the speed wall is dry as well, which is great for us for later on. And there is Mario with a top.
그것도 해보고 싶었는데 그때 또 주말에 수업 들어야 돼가지고 그런 거 못하고 수업 같은 것 때문에 못하는 마라톤도 못하고 그게 이제 학교 수업은 아니고 따로 듣는 수업 다른 병원 가가지고 학교에 그냥
18-year-old Kim Han-woo now from Gwangju in Korea. 6th at the Male Juniors Lead World Youth Championships in Canada this year. 7th at the World Youth Championships last year in Singapore in the Male Youth A-Lead category. Gold medal at the Male Youth A-Lead Asia Youth Championship in Singapore 2011. So, a former Asia Youth Champion, Kim Han-woo. We have seen him at IFSC events beforehand. He was here last year in Mokpo, where he came 18th. He was also at PERS this year, 2013, where he came 27th, just missing out on that spot in the semi-finals. Let's hope he can make it here. Kim Han-woo, Cho Hae-mi on the right-hand side now as well. Cho, 17 years old, from Gyeonggi. He's been climbing for 9 years and is currently a student as well, just like we see from Domen, Sebastian. So the young female athletes as well making it through. Magdalena Rock, Katarina Posch. She's world ranked 60th at the moment, 21st at the Female Youth A-Lead World Youth Championships in Canada this year. Both these athletes were over in Canada for our World Youth Champs this year. Not a bad effort there at all from Cho Hai-mi. Fortunately, no top though. We're still with Kim Hal-moo. Up to a big pinch on the left hand now, matching with the right on the upper right hand side there. Strike out with the left. Bit of a compression move here. It's got the foot on now, then that's going to help him move across. Trying a drop knee here. He's clipping. We've seen the athletes do that before. Up again to this ledge just ahead of him now on the right, and couldn't quite hold it, unfortunately. Down again. Now, around this point is going to be the cutoff for our semi-finalists. "31 male athletes. We're taking it down to just 26 for the semi-finals tomorrow. Same for the women. We have 27 of them, so we're only dropping one female athlete as we move into the semi-finals tomorrow. Risa Ota now out for Japan. And there is Barbara Backer doing her thing over on women's Route 1.
일본의 리사 오타 선수입니다. The right side of the center wall, Risa Ota from Japan.
Risa Ota, another frequent competitor on the IFSC lead season so far this year. Flying through the last of these female athletes now, starting to move towards the end of today. Risa's 20 years old from Yamaguchi. World ranked 22nd at the present moment in time. Came 35th in the bouldering at Munich this year. Came 13th at the lead in Briançon, 14th at Inzai last year. Competes in boulder and lead disciplines as well. Also sometimes in speed. Very multidisciplined athlete, Risa. Kun Ki-yoon of Korea now on the left-hand side, starting off his climb as well. Just a heads up to those of you that are watching from home, the next athlete after Kun Ki-yoon will be Ramone out on this route. Speaking to Tony, his trainer, earlier on today, said he's very relaxed, no change from the norm. Kun Ki-yoon, one of the oldest athletes here today, 42 years old. From Daegu province. So these gradings again for you guys, it's an 8B on the left-hand side for the men's, it's an 8A on the right-hand side for the women's of these two, the central routes that we're covering today. Looking to take these athletes down to 26 men, 26 women for the semi-finals tomorrow. We'll be talking to the route setters again about what they've got in store for us. Tomorrow we'll be talking to them in the morning. After we finish here, they'll get straight on and started with resetting everything for the semi-finals as we move over and onto our Speed World Cup. Speed World Cup still to come for you today. Every single stage of it as well. We're starting with the qualifications. at around 3 o'clock local time to us, and then we go straight from the qualifications into our final 16 athletes on our official speed wall. So we are looking at setting some world records here if we can. All that to come for you later on today as well, so do stick around. Ramone will be out next for us in a few moments' time. We're still with Risa Ota here, the upper section of the wall. This is where she's got to start getting really careful. These last 4 to 6 moves. Very tricky section, got to take them nice and slow. The left here. And again with the right, and now she's got to be really careful. These last few are kind of quite crimpy. Foot across. And there's the top, very nicely done. Risa Ota there for Japan with the top. And here is Ramone just starting off. World and European champion twice. Making a massive comeback so far this year. Very strong on the lead season. Gold at our last World Cup in Perm. Also gold at the Rockmaster again this year. This sort of sustained style of route will be very, very easy for Ramone. King of endurance in lead climbing. Shout out to some of the people that are joining us from the Philippines at the moment watching, and also to the Aussies that are joining us as well. As always, Sport Climbing Australia. Hélène Janico now out for France on women's route 2 with Ramone on the right, on the left for Spain. Janico, quite a few medals so far this year. Another one of the younger athletes to keep an eye open for as we move through the competition here and any World Cup, in fact. Some bronze medals and a silver so far this year for Janiko. Gold medal in Briançon last year. Only 19 years old. She's world ranked 4th at the moment. She's also 4th on the World Cup rankings so far for 2013. Came 5th at Perm this year, 7th at Purs, 4th at Imst, 3rd at Briançon, 3rd at Chamonix. And that silver medal back at the Female Juniors Lead European Youth Championships in Gemaza last year. Ramone approaching this lip now, just moving up. Same method we saw earlier from some of our Korean athletes, matching on that pinch with the right hand. Little reach out to the left, then out again with the left for that next one. We've seen a lot of athletes fall though on that reach up with the right that Ramone's just done to the yellow hold there. Penultimate hold here, swinging his feet across. And there's the top for Ramone. Easy clip in. Barely breaking a sweat there for him. Ellen. Pocket section of the roof, approaching her lip now as well. Bit of a tangle there with her foot on the right. Up to this pinch now, which is clipped in. Ellen into the last few moves here, as long as she's cautious. She should be okay. Sachi Ama now out for us as well. Started off this season in first place on the world rankings. Has since dropped down a little bit as Ramone and Jakob Schubert start making a comeback. Sachi enjoying the competition so far this year. Ellen now finished. I'll show you Sachi on full screen here now. Sachi on this 8B graded route. Men's route 2 here as well. So the results should be starting to pour in for you now on the IFSC's website. You'll be able to have a look at those. About 2 to 3 minutes after we finish the competition here, it'll take for the judges to confirm everything and make sure that there are no appeals that need to be processed. Once that's finished up, we will have our 26 athletes that go forward into the semi-finals tomorrow. Sachi gold medal from Briançon last year as well, if you remember. Also at Chamonix last year.
On the right side of the center wall, Mathilde Groupanier from Belgium.
It's actually looking very secure here as well. You can probably see how windy it is a little bit higher up off the ground here as well. It's kind of got a little bit cold actually here today. The sun disappeared for a few moments then. You see the wind at where he is now on the wall. The routes that are saying earlier as well. These are quite long routes.
보고 계신 가장 왼쪽 경기죠. 한국의 정문화 선수 경기 시작하였습니다. The left wall, 정문화 from Korea.
And Mathilde Bruman from Belgium now. Mathilde sitting on the edge of the finals so far this year, sometimes making it in, sometimes just falling short. Didn't have too good a run at Purs just recently on her home turf. It's actually finished now.
중앙벽의 왼쪽에서 선수가 경기 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 벨기에 루이 티머만스. To the left side of the center wall, Louis Timmermans from Belgium.
Loic Timmermans for Belgium here. One of the major hopes for Belgium, the male athletes, 18 years old. World ranked 21st, World Cup ranked 19th so far this year. At the European Youth Championships in Imch this year, he came 4th, just missed out on a medal there. Gold medal at the Male Juniors Lead European Youth Cup in Edinburgh this year though. A silver at the Male Juniors Boulder European Youth Championships in Grindelwald, Switzerland this year as well. Several gold medals throughout 2011, 2012 on the European Youth Cups, Youth Championships. Still only 18 years old. Loic Timmermans here now. Approaching the top. Katja Sabine for Austria now starting on the right hand side as well. Winner of the Kitzrock this year. Frequent boulderer as well. Says that she actually prefers bouldering to lead, but she is doing lead as well. From Innsbruck, Katja has been climbing since she was 8 years old. First place at the Rockmaster in Arco in 2008. 6th at the Women's Bouldering World Cup in Toronto this year. 6th also at Kitzbühel this year. And also at Miol. 13th in the lead at Kran 2012. She is for Austria now in the lead category. For our World Cup here in Mokpo, welcome if you are joining us. We're approaching the end of our lead qualifications here to decide who our 26 athletes are for men and women going through into the semi-finals here tomorrow morning. When we do finish up here, we'll be taking a short break from coverage, coming back at just before 2 o'clock local time to us here. Sorry, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, just before 3 o'clock local time to us here, to get things underway with our Speed World Cup, and in its entirety as well. This will be the entire World Cup this afternoon, starting at 3. Romain de Grange for France, a European champion, here now on the men's Route 2.
On the left-hand side of the center where we have Romain de Grange from France. On the left wall, we have Mokpo from Korea.
Big reach for that clip there for Romain, but still looking completely comfortable. No problem at all for him so far. Katja looking pretty good as well here. Surprise finish there though for Katia, no top. Big jump at that last move and just missed out on it. No real risk for her there though. We've seen some athletes fall way before that. She knows that she'll be making it through into the qualification round now, as we're only losing one female athlete, taking 27 down to 26 today. Obviously the ranking is important, where you're placing, due to count back if there were ties in the semis and the finals. A good performance there from Katia. Ramon, the last vertical section of the wall here.
On the right wall, we have some metal from from Canada. On the right
Bit of a dynamic approach to that final move there then, but clearly very secure in what he thought he'd find there, and he obviously knew that he was going to make that move. Very nice finish there. Ramon de Grange with the top. Kim Seung-kyun for Korea starts off her climb. Women's Route 2. Moving into the last 6 or 7 athletes now, in both men's and women's. Kim Seung-kyun staging herself here, taking a rest early on, as there aren't many of them here on the female route, Route 2. Only really that knee bar on the men's as well. The Budrakabi on the left hand side now just starting off as well.
On the left wall, we have Tomanade from Korea. On the right wall, we have Han Won from Korea.
Kim Seung-kun has to be a bit careful here about her time limit. They get 6 minutes for these attempts on the routes. This is a long route for her, and she's been on this wall for quite a time now. In danger of timing out. Just to get that left hand into that pocket. It looks a little bit like she might be struggling now. Clips costing her as well. Trying to shake out a little bit. Up with the left again now. Now she gets the clip. Unfortunately just falling there then, but a nice performance on the other side of the wall from Dawood. He's finished up, back down on the ground now. Jong-won now over on the far right hand side that you're looking at some of the coverage from the local TV company at the moment. One of the other routes there. This male athlete has a climb here.
On the left wall, we have Akonomoti from Japan.
And then you just saw a little glimpse of Akio Noguchi on Route 1 as well, her second climb for the day. I'm going to start things off over on the main wall now again then with Kim Yabi. Kim Ja-in's brother. The three Yas have set up their own gym just recently in Seoul, their hometown. It's called the Jars. Here on home turf now, Kim Yabi.
On the right side of the center wall, we have Kim Ho-min from Korea.
And don't worry, at the present moment in time, you're not missing anything on the female Route 2. Looks like we've got one of our route setters climbing up there. I'm not sure whether it's to get rid of a possible tangle or whether it's a loose hold or a clean. I'm not entirely sure why he's going up. I'll find out in a few moments' time. But whilst we are waiting for one of our route setters to sort out the female route, and whilst we're with Kim Yabi, we're now joined by Mr. Sean McCall, who's just finished his second climb of the day. How was the second one then, Sean?
Well, I'll be honest, they were a little bit easy. I mean, I don't know how many double tops they'll have, but I remember that last week in Perm there was also a lot of tops, and not that I'm disappointed with the routes because they're really good routes. I just think that they should be a little bit harder because the routes for at least the top 10 climbers, top 15, maybe even 20. It seems like I don't know, when you have 20 tops, it's not a waste of time. We still enjoy climbing the routes, feeling out the wall, but we really wish that we have hard moves on these walls because the semifinals and then the finals are going to have hard moves. So if we don't have any hard moves in qualification, it's really like we're just coming and doing one hard route for semifinals and then the top 8 and they go to the finals. So I really wish they were harder.
Do you feel like if it is an easier climb in the qualifications, it makes the semis and the finals, even if they are harder routes, because you haven't had such a hard time of it today, it makes it easier for you in the semis and the finals?
From a climber's perspective, when it's easy qualifications, I almost feel like I never climb the way I should be climbing. I feel like I'm trying not to fall. And it seems weird, I'm always trying not to fall, but when I'm climbing routes that I know I should top, I don't climb in my rhythm. I'm climbing really like making sure I place my foot like extra perfectly so it doesn't slip, and never placing too many sketchy heel looks or jumping to too many holds. And I also think that it puts a lot more pressure on the route setters because if you have 20 double tops in qualifications, that means you have to separate them in the semifinals or in the finals. And if it's like in Perm and they set an easy semifinals, then we're gonna have 8 tops, and then everyone's gonna be tied into the finals, and then that's when the rule for time comes into play. And we don't like that rule to come into play. We want it to be separated by difficulty and time as a very last resort. And so I think it puts more pressure on the route setters, so I don't really understand why they do it, but I'm sure they have a really good reason, and I know it stems from the fact that they want people who are entering the World Cups for the first few times, they want them to get high on some of the routes so they feel like they did something, or else they do 2 qualification routes, they fall halfway, and then that's the end of the competition for them. So from one point I understand it, but I still do wish that they were a little bit harder, or at least one of the 2 was a lot harder.
You can see how that would affect somebody who is new to it if they're going to get their ego knocked a little bit when they first get into a comp. So I can understand it from that perspective. Just to go over onto the time side of things that you were talking about how the athletes view that. I don't want to get too bogged down into the whole timing system and everything like that. But you yourself, you're quite a fast climber. You tend to really go at it when you get out there. The difference for you for knowing that it's going to be about time and that it's not about time and that it is the high point, do you find that alters your climbing style at all?
For me personally, not at all, because like you said, I have a relatively fast climbing style, and if I'm slowing down on a route, it usually means I'm either pumped or climbing it poorly. And so I rarely think about the time, and I even know a lot of the other climbers, when they're tied going into the finals, they don't think about it a lot. I know that in Perm, between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and maybe even 5th, it was all separated by time. And there might be a misconception in the rule because I thought it was only supposed to be for the winner that they use the time. But we're double checking that for next year, and I think it just kind of sucks when you have to use time. We put the rule in as really a last resort so that there wasn't a tie for the winner, and I don't know. It sucks when it's used, really.
What about timing out? I mean, that's one of the things that you're never really aware of, I imagine, that often. I can't actually remember a time where you have been called down, but I know I've seen Jakob called down a few times, and I have seen some of the female athletes this year, actually. Kim Yain has been called down as well. In terms of the 8 minutes, do you think that's because it's the optimum amount of time? Do you think we should have a capped time for these kind of climbs? I mean, this is only 6 minutes today, and they're quite long.
I definitely am a fan of a capped time limit, and then the next argument comes in is what should the time limit be? It's hard to, personally, if I'm only thinking about myself, super 100% selfishly, we have a 2-minute timer. 2 minutes to climb the finals. And then you could probably say that maybe I have a better chance of winning, right? But no, I do agree with the 8-minute time limit because even among the athletes, 8 minutes is actually a long time to be climbing. And then me personally, rarely I'm climbing for over 4. So just to give if I top the route, I'm usually climbing in about 4 minutes to give a kind of a, what's that word? A comparison. And so even the women that are climbing for 8 minutes, they know that they've been climbing slowly and that the start of the route was hard, so they had to slow down, they had to rest. Then by the middle, they knew they were at 4 or 5 minutes because most of them wear a watch as they're climbing, so they're very aware of how fast they're going. And the times that they've been called off, they've been so close to the top that the climbers that get called off, really, it's a very small error by them, because if they see that they have 20 seconds left and they have 4 moves, okay, well that's 5 seconds a move, and in their head you know that they're counting it, and so if they go a little bit too slow, it's a very small error, and it rarely comes into account for the actual like first, second, or third. It sucks when it does because you don't really want climbers to time out, but the climbers know, they're very aware when they have about a minute left, 30 seconds left, and so they start to speed up. And I find if you have more than 8 minutes, back in the day when it was 12 and 15, it was just really boring. Like every move, it was like they do a move and then they get into a resting position and they start resting. And then it's like, okay, and here we have climber X resting. Oh, and they're about to do a move and they do the move and then they're resting. And we're slowly going away from that style, even just with the route setting and how it's more physical, and it's hard to climb for 8 minutes, I find. And I think that having the time limit makes it more exciting and much more spectacular for the crowd, and overall I think it's a really good thing.
Now, out of the 2 different disciplines that you really specialize in, I mean, I know you climb speed as well, but out of bouldering and lead at the moment, for the formatting, the style, the way that the competition works, the excitement of it, out of the 2, which is your preferred style and discipline? Lead or bouldering?
Well, it's hard for me to say which one I like better because they truly are really different styles of climbing, and I love doing the switch because I've always said that I'll do bouldering for half a year, and by the end, I'm kind of bored bouldering. Like, I want to do longer routes, I want to get tired, I want to have to control my rhythm, and then at the end of the lead season, we're not really verging on it yet because I'm still really psyched to be lead climbing, but I'm tired of keeping a rhythm. I just want to like waste power, waste energy, and just do hard moves. So it's hard. I've always asked the question to myself, if I really had to choose between one of the 2, what would I choose? Like, if for some, I don't know, like my federation said, like, you can only do one in the year, because I know it's the case for some other federations that say you cannot do both. And I really don't know what I would do. I wouldn't do speed. You can take that one out right away. But between bouldering and lead, I don't know. Bouldering, the mentality among the climbers is much more, I would say, like friendly. They're much more, laid back. And where lead climbing, it is a little bit more, the people in finals is very closely related to how much they train and how strong they are in training. Where sometimes in bouldering, if you get a weird semi-final boulders, where 1 is impossible and then 2 are a slab, and you have 1 power problem, maybe you get 6 finalists that weren't quote-unquote the strongest or the best climbers, but by all means they were the best on those boulders, and so they deserve to advance to the finals. But it's less likely to happen in lead climbing. Unless you set a dyno in every semifinals and just to take out the small people. But in lead climbing, you see much more consistently, 5 or 6 climbers always in the finals. And so, I really don't know.
We're starting to see that being pushed and chopped around a little bit at the moment, especially with the women at the lead finals. We're seeing some new faces move in through it. And then with the men, we've had Domen this year, every final that he's made as well. It's nice to see some changes there as well. In terms of people that you've got your eyes on that are just coming out into the lead discipline, that you think these are the guys that could be challenging for those spaces in the finals? Has anyone highlighted themselves to you over the past 4 or 5 World Cups that you've thought, hang on a minute, these guys could be challenging us next year?
Anyone in the lead finals has a chance to do really well, and a lot of it, there's a few different aspects. There's your general fitness, but there's a lot of mentality that comes into it. And Domen, I talked to him, I guess, a couple of years ago, even maybe as close as 1 or 2 years ago, saying like, look, you're a really good climber, you're a junior world champion, and like, you should be making finals in World Cups. And that was when he was, kind of messing up semifinals, not trusting himself, because when I watched him at the junior comps, he climbed differently than when I watched him at World Cups. And so I think it was a mental thing where he was, maybe just scared at World Cups. He's looking around, he's seeing all these climbers, and maybe he's even seeing me and being like, whoa, I don't know if I can ever beat him. And I told him just try to forget about that and climb like you do in junior comps. And I think he did it last year and at the end of last year and this year, and he's found that if he just climbs the same he does in juniors, it's just a different it's a different. And you try not to compare yourself against the competitors and just climb the best you can. And I think he really embraced that. And yeah, it's really paying off. He's made every finals. He looks confident. He climbs quickly. He's strong, and so everything's working out for him. And I hope he can keep it up.
In the women's, anyone that's caught your eye is starting to push the boundaries in terms of challenging the more senior, more experienced athletes?
As not funny as it sounds, is that I don't actually get a lot of chance to watch the women. If I don't attend the comp, then yeah, I can watch the live stream, and so I do watch all the women, which was the case for in Perm. But then in Perm, the finals group was pretty bad. I mean, four competitors fell at the same spot. Jain passed the one move into the one move to win and actually top the routes. But if I make finals of the comp, I don't get to watch any women climb, and so it's hard for me to say. I mean, I know that there's very consistently, those 5 or 6 girls, and then there's always 5 other ones that are taking up the last 2 or 3 spots. But I don't know. You just have to look at the results. And I find with the women, there's maybe a bigger gap between the 3 girls that are mainly on the podium, especially like Mina and Jain. But that being said, I mean, a route's a route, and if they make an error, they fall, and anyone else can pass them.
There's a bit of a rumour going around. It might be a possibility of a future lead World Cup in Canada, in Vancouver, over the next few years or so. In terms of the times that we do go across the pond and we go and see some comps in Canada, in terms of the support that people are getting in Canada at the moment, do you think it is on the rise? Do you think we're likely to see a lot more comps over that side of the field?
That's a really good question. It's very in-depth, and I don't think I can answer that as well as a lot of other people can. We definitely have the new gym in Saanich on the islands that held the Junior World Championships. That definitely is a possibility of hosting a World Cup. Probably say it's one of the only in Canada that can host a World Cup. I mean, there's lots of gyms that technically could host it. They have the wall height, but the problem is the spectators. And inside a gym in Canada, you can't get enough spectators. I mean, even if you have 400 seats, technically it's not enough spectators. So you want to be able to get like 1,000 or 2,000 spectators. And so definitely the one on the island, and I know that they're very interested in doing it. So if everything goes, according to plan, I hope we do have a World Cup in Canada, and it'll bring more significance, I guess, to the sport in Canada. Hopefully it'll drive more young kids to start climbing, or even start bouldering, or whatever. I know that they have the official homologated speed wall there, so I know that there's actually many kids that are really excited to start speed climbing. So everything's moving in the right direction, and there's a little bit of stuff going on in Canada right now that's a little bit delicate. But at the end of the day, right now it's the Alpine Club of Canada, and they're supporting the climbers come to World Cups as best they can. So we'll see where that goes, and I'm having fun, I'm traveling, and so for me it works well, and I really hope that there's more climbers that are really psyched like me to come and join the World Cup circuit, whether it be bouldering or lead climbing or speed climbing, and that have the motivation and the desire, and also the desire to train. It's not just about going to the comps and being like, yeah, I want to go to lots of comps. It's like, no, you want to go to lots of comps, but I want to train, 4 or 5 days a week for 3 hours a session, and really get physically and mentally better at climbing so that I'm ready for the World Cup competitions.
We're going to be seeing you at both China, and then over into Valence as well, and Cran at the end of the year?
Yep, I believe so. Definitely doing this World Cup and then the World Cup in Asia, and I'm scheduled to go to Valence and Cran. I never say 100%, it's more like 99, because if I really don't feel like it, or I just am not having fun in league comps anymore, I won't really want to compete. So, but I know I'm having lots of fun right now. I love league climbing, so should be at all of them for the rest of the season.
Sean, thank you for talking to us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Dan.
Sean Mokpo there, a brief conversation about climbing in general, the experience that he's had here so far today, and comp climbing in general. If you have any questions for Sean, myself, or any of the athletes, you want to speak to anybody in particular, just let us know. You can do so by using the hashtag that's in the bottom right hand corner of your screen at the moment on Twitter.
남녀 속도 예선전은 웜업존이 1시 반에 오픈하게 되고요. 그리고 2시 20분부터 연습 시간이 주어집니다. 3시부터 본격적인 남녀 속도 예선전이 치러지게 됩니다. 그리고 남녀 속도 결승전은 4시 10분이고요. 오늘의 레이스는 5시부터 진행이 됩니다.
안 따라갈 수 있고.
On the left-hand side of the central wall, we have Akito Mishima from Japan. On the right wall, we have Yuran Kumar from India.
Enter is the qualification IFSC competition. The warm-up zone for C qualification will open at 1:30 and the practice time will be at 2:20. And the women and men qualification will start at 3 o'clock.
On the right wall, we have Dustin Katana from Japan. From the lead qualification, we have speed qualification at 3 o'clock, and the practice time will be starting at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so as we are now moving towards the end of today, our last few athletes coming out for our lead qualification, it's time to talk to our first female athlete of the day, with Anna Verhoeven, who is with us now. You've finished both of your climbs then. Anna, how is the wall?
I really like the wall. It's quite overhanging and that's my style. So it's overhanging, then again a flat part and so on, but I do like it, yeah.
In terms of stylistically, I mean, I know you're liking the overhang on it, but in terms of the style choices that the route setters have chosen, is it more your style than other comps that you've been at this year? Are you comfortable with this style?
Yes, I'm quite comfortable, but the halts are good. I think tomorrow it will be different. But today it was nice. Sometimes in competitions the walls are like really vertical, with very small halls, and I don't really like this. Also for a competition it's really stressful, so here it's really nice.
You're not a fan of crimps?
Sometimes, maybe in training it's better, but in competitions it depends.
So talk to me a little bit about PERS recently, because we had that whole thing going down. Your first ever final, how was that?
It was amazing, really. It was a big surprise and it really felt like a present. I hadn't expected it, and yeah, the qualifications were really bad. It was my worst competition ever, but then it turned out to be the best one. So the semi-final was really well, and then I was already happy with the result. To be in the finals was amazing.
So 6th overall, is that right, in PERS?
Yes.
And you had quite a lot of competition there as well. There were a lot of big names in the finals as well. Is it an unnerving experience, or did you find you fell into it quite easy? Was it quite scary being there with some of those big names, or did you find it quite an easy transition into the final?
Well, this year I already have done some competition, so I know the better climbers a little already, but to be in the finals with them was really nice. So I read the route with some really good climbers, but I think they're still just normal people like me, and that's nice to discover that they are just climbers and they have the same problems.
What about the crowd pressure that was there as well? This is your home turf, and I was talking at the time that it was happening that sometimes that crowd pressure can be a really, really good thing, because you get the home support, they're really behind you, they want you to do well. Other times that can kind of, I suppose, get into your head a little bit, because it is pressure, that they want you to perform well, and if you're not, you're going to get down and the crowd are going to be like, oh, come on, what happened there? In your mind when you're on the wall, how does it play to you? Is it an advantage or a disadvantage?
In PERS it helped me, I think. So I know all the people, also before the competition everyone was supporting me, like come on. And also in the semi-final everyone was cheering at every move I made, so it was really nice. But like in the qualifications I didn't climb well, and then it's different. Then it was really hard because everyone is disappointed for me and that I didn't climb well. So, but sometimes it helps when you know that everyone wants you to climb well.
It definitely did in PERS as well. You had that massive support throughout the final there as well. Did you get a bit of time to relax and party afterwards with the crowd?
Well, I talked to some people. It was nice. I still couldn't really believe it, but the day after too, I was so happy. It was an amazing experience, really.
So onwards and upwards, you're here now as well. You got some more coming along. Are you staying out for the entire Asia tour? You're going to be in the 2 ones in China as well?
No, not China, but Valence and Kram. I'll be there, yeah.
So only out for Korea, only for this one?
Yes, with my mother. I came here.
And how are you feeling physically and mentally yourself? Are you quite comfortable? Are you keen and eager? I imagine after PERS you're quite kind of like going for it now.
Exactly, but just after competition I was really happy, but then afterwards I climbed the routes again and it didn't go so well as in the competition, so I wasn't that happy in fact, but now it's really nice, yeah, again.
So in terms of tomorrow, we've got the semi-finals and the finals as well, still yet to come, and you're enjoying the style of route that's happening here. Now you said at the start that you think tomorrow's going to be a different situation. Is that because you think they're going to step it up and make it a lot more difficult tomorrow, or do you think they're going to change style? What is it?
I don't know, but I think the routes will be more difficult tomorrow. Semi-finals are really hard sometimes because I have to split the climbers.
In terms of your training back home then in PERS, are you studying at the moment? Is there other things that you're doing as well as the climbing?
Yeah, so I'm studying at home. I don't go to school anymore because it's really difficult to combine, but I can choose what to study. So at the moment I can't study, but it's all right, so I don't miss anything. I'm learning German at the moment, but it's called homeschooling, so it's great that I can do this. So I don't have to school and I can just make my own program.
And for the future, your plan for overall the long run, are you going to keep coming to these comps? Is it a career choice now for you, professional climber?
I hope so. I don't know I do want to study, but I think it's difficult if you're doing competition. So I want to do the World Cups in the future. Yeah.
Anak, thank you for talking to us. I'm going to let you go and relax with your mum for a little while and get ready for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the right side of the central wall, we have Andrea Vizita from Hungary. 네, 이사연 선수에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 네, 여러분 지금 2013년도 IFSC 모코 클라이밍 월드컵 난이도 예선을 함께하고 계십니다. 지금 중앙에 보이는 벽의 왼쪽 부분에는 2명의 선수, 한국 선수가 나가있고요. 그리고 가운데 오른쪽에는 3명의 선수가 나가있습니다. 그리고 맨 왼쪽에는 지금 마지막 선수인 마지막 오너 선수가 여기 구경 중에 있습니다. On the left side of the central wall, we have Kim Yong-ha from Korea.
뒤로 시작하자. 부산 코리아. 그럼 부산 코리아.
네, 마늘문화 선수 좋은 경기 보여주셨습니다. 이로써 오른쪽 경기력에는 모든 예선 난이도 경기가 끝났습니다.
For the left hole and the right hole, all competitors finish the competition. 그리고 중간지역에서 많은 경기가 진행되고 있네요. 중간지역에 좌측에는 3명의 선수, 오른쪽에는 2명의 선수, 그리고 우측에서 3명의 선수가 남아있습니다. In the center wall, we have 2 competitors left for the left, and 3 competitors left for the right.
두 번으로 80번 아드레아 비스타 헝가리에서 선수 송경기 보여주었습니다.
Okay guys, so one male athlete, two female athletes yet to come. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching these guys climb throughout today and enjoyed some of the interviews we've had as we've moved through it as well. We're about to welcome those last couple of athletes out now. Park Hee-young, our last male athlete out today for Korea. Another couple of female athletes left to come, and then after that we'll be taking that short break as I mentioned earlier. Back with you just before 3 p.m. local time to us here in Mokpo. And that'll be for the speed qualification rounds. We're going to go through the speed quals into the final 16, break that down to 8, down to 4, and then have our finals. The entire Speed World Cup for the IFSC in Mokpo is going to be held this afternoon. Hopefully you can come and join us for that one as well. We'll also be showing a little bit of the opening ceremony later on before closing down for the day, and then get back with you again tomorrow to get ready for our semi-finals and finals as well. Well, here's an athlete that you might have been waiting for throughout today so far, waiting to see how she gets on here on home turf. It is Kim Yain, our current world rank number 1. Very impressive season so far this year as well. Also in Perm just recently, our last World Cup, the only female athlete to top the final route. Practically perfect climb in Purs as well. Very impressive performance at the Rockmaster also this year. Kim Yain.
왼쪽이 남자, 오른쪽이 여자야?
Park trying to shake out the lactic acid building up in his arms there. He's got that knee bar in with the left. A moment to rest here then for him. Park Ki-young, unfortunately, just trying to reach up past the lip there with a slip. He has come down. Round of applause from the support down here on the ground, but no top there for him. Everyone's expecting a top here from Kim Jae-in. After Kim, we have Momoka Oda coming out to finish up for today.
네, 이로써 남자 난이도 부분 예선전이 모두 마쳤습니다.
There is the top for Kim Jae-in that we all expected. She's climbed very well today. Very easy first climb for her as well. We caught a bit of that earlier today over on Women's Route 1. I look like Ramone. No difficulties at all there for Kim. Down on the ground again now then. We welcome our last female athlete in just a few moments time. That'll be Momoka Oda coming out. She's ready. I can see her there at the bottom of the wall.
네, 김정현 선수는 다음으로 마지막 여자 선수입니다. 모모카 오다 선수예요. 일본에서 왔고요. 곧 있으면 마지막 경기를 보여줄 예정입니다.
So we are finished on the men's route. We welcome our last athlete for today in the league qualifications for Mokpo 2013. That is Momoka Oda for Japan. Coming out now, the final climb. We would expect to see some good things here from Momoka. 19 years old, former world youth champion.
모모카 오다 from Japan. 네, 잠시 안녕 드리겠습니다. 스피드 보고 예상하시는 선수분들은 모든 한국 선수들은 스피드 무엇 앞으로 모여주시기 바랍니다. 이번 경기가 끝나고 한국의 모든 선수들은 스피드 무엇 앞에 모여주시기 바랍니다.
2013 IFSC Mokpo
Momoka slow and steady here at this stage. She will be aware of the time limit. She's not wearing a watch, but she's used to climbing in qualification. She knows that there's 6 minutes here for her. Nice steady pace, no problem so far.
오스트리아 벨기에 여자에서 열린 여자 난이도 부분에서 각각 2위, 3위, 3위를 하는 등 좋은 성적을 꾸준히 보여주고 있는 선수입니다.
Heel hook there with the right. Dipping in, grabbing a bit of chalk, and then up again with the other right here. (19 years old Momoka Oda from Yamaguchi, world ranked 5th at the moment, World Cup ranked 3rd so far for this year. Heel hook with the left now up to take first of the two pink holds that you can see there. That's 32 and 33. 8A graded difficulty, this one, a competition level.
Mokpo is such an excellent climber, known for her confidence. She has a beautiful movement and great performance on the wall.
Mokpo now won second in 2013 IFSC Climbing World Cup in Austria, and third in Tours in Beijing, and third in Perm in Russia.
Mokpo approaching the lip now. She's going to have to start being a bit careful after this point. Next 4 or 5 moves, not too bad for her, but then after that, slowing down a little bit for that last little pop. Nice finishing hold as well. We've seen most of the female athletes doing a bit of a pop-up for that final hold.
The president of the IFSC, please come to the main entrance. Please come to the main entrance. Thank you.
Just a couple of moves away from the top here now. Now this is the point where we saw Katja Sarwein just pushing. Pretty big pop there, trying to go for the top. Momoka taking her time, and there is the top there for Momoka. A nice finish to end off our qualifications here today. That is the end of our qualifications for Mokpo 2013 lead discipline for the IFSC World Cup. Let's have a brief look now at the results as we have them here at the venue. Remember that it's going to take a brief while after we finish up this competition here for these results to be confirmed. But on your screen now, the equal firsts that I was talking about with Sean, here we are, we have them again. 9 here, including Dawood Rekabi for Iran. Impressive performance from him. Had Matthew, one of the route setters, coming across going, this guy from Iran, do you know who he is? And I was like, no, not too sure on that one. I was like, me neither, but he's quite good. The route setters have got their eyes fixed on Dawood. So we have 16 equal first place athletes in the men's lead qualifications, and there they are here then at the moment. So on to the last page here now then. Kwon Ki-yoon there in the 26th place position. These are the results as we have them here at the venue at present. Remember to keep your eye fixed on the IFSC's website for the updated results as soon as they have been confirmed. Here are our women qualification lists then. We have the top 9 there, all in equal first as you can see at the moment. All names that we'd expect. There's Anak Verhoeven up there as well. Risa Ota, Ellen Janiko, Kim Yain, Momoka Oda, Magdalena Rock, Nikki Van Bergen there in equal first with Mina Markovic and Akira Noguchi. That's our first page, top 9. And here we are then, 10 all in all equal first places, and it's Katarina Posch with that 10th one. Mathilde Romain just a little bit short of that. Barbara Bakker there as well though. Sat Sol, Katarina Sarwein, Kim Sola, Kim Minisun, Yuka Kobayashi, Andrea Brigitte Skelly, And here we are down to 26, and unfortunately that one female athlete who will be missing out here today on a chance of going forward into the semi-finals is Lee Hyun-suk. We take 27 down to 26. Only one female athlete to miss out. Lee Hyun-suk, unfortunately not quite making it through into the semi-finals tomorrow. So guys, that is the end of our qualifications for the lead discipline, Mokpo 2013. All that remains for me to say a brief farewell to you. We'll be back again at around 3 p.m. local time to us. We'll see you then.